There are nights longer than an entire lifetime. There are hands trembling from exhaustion, yet still refusing to let go of the oars. And there are people who need no medals, yet become heroes. That night, the rain poured down as if it meant to erase the entire village. Inside the small tin-roofed house, the three brothers, Min, Hung, and Nam, stood frozen as the dirty brown water slowly crept toward the edge of the bed. Min clenched his jaw. He turned to his brothers, his voice firm. "The water is rising too fast. We can't wait any longer. Get the boat. We're going to save people." The entire village was now nothing but rooftops floating in a vast ocean of water. Flashlight beams cut through the thick curtain of rain. The cries of children, the choking coughs of the elderly. Each sound echoed like a desperate call for help. The first rescue. The small wooden boat swayed violently in the rushing current. Min steered. Hung and Nam rowed with every ounce of strength they had. They reached a house on the verge of sinking. Nam leaned far out, pulling a trembling mother and her baby onto the boat. The baby cried uncontrollably from the cold. Without a word, Hung took off his raincoat and wrapped it around both of them. In the brothers' eyes, fear slowly gave way to determination. There were houses where the water had already reached the ceiling. Inside, the trapped villagers clung desperately to the roof beams just to steal a few precious breaths. Men shouted, "Hung, hold the boat! Nam, get on the roof!" Nam climbed onto the slippery tiles. The rain lashed against his face like knives. His bare hands began to bleed, yet he tore off each tile as if ripping open the very boundary between life and death. From inside the house, a small hole of light appeared. Nam reached down and cried out, "Give me your hand, Grandma. Hold on to me." One by one, the elderly, the children, were pulled back from the edge of death. The boat was already packed full of people. The elderly huddled together. Children clung tightly to their mothers. But on the rooftop of the house behind them, there were still many people who could not leave. They sat close together in the rain and the darkness, between life and death, so painfully thin. A trembling woman cried out after them, "Please, what about us?" Min stood at the front of the boat, rain mixed with tears on his face. He shouted loudly through the roaring storm, "Ma'am, the boat is too small. We can't take everyone. But I promise you, we will come back for you." Hung and Nam looked up at the rooftop. No one said a word, but in their eyes was an unspoken oath. On the rooftop, an old man pressed his palms together, his voice weak. "We believe you will come back." The boat slowly turned around. Behind them, the people who were still trapped watched the flashlight drift farther and farther away. But in their eyes now, there was not only fear anymore. There was also faith. 3 in the morning, the 5th trip. The boat was packed full of people. Hung's arms trembled uncontrollably. Men gasped for air. Nam slumped forward for a brief moment. The same thought echoed in their minds. "We're completely exhausted. Maybe we should stop for just a moment." And then, a bolt of lightning tore through the sky. In that sudden flash of light, a frail hand was seen weakly waving from the distance. Min placed his hand on his brother's shoulders and said, "There's still someone out there. If we stop now, they will die." No one said a word, only the sound of the oars, slicing through the water once more into the darkness. The final trip reached safety. A small school on high ground. 60 people had been brought back alive. The elderly were wrapped in blankets. Children slept peacefully in their mother's arms. The 3 brothers had only enough strength left to collapse onto the rain-soaked ground. The sky began to brighten. The dawn was not radiant, but pale gray and silent. An elderly woman trembled as she walked toward them. In her hands were 3 cups of warm water. No words of thanks were spoken. She simply placed her hand on Min's shoulder, and her tears fell, blending into the rain on his clothes. The 3 brothers lay there, small before the fury of nature, yet immense in the hearts of those who were still alive. They helped each other to their feet, looking back at the village, now nothing but an endless sea of water. Last night was as long as an entire lifetime, but they knew that. As long as even one hand is still waving for help, they will never, ever let go of the oars.